All right, welcome back to Genre. I'm your host, Katie.
And I'm Elise.
And today we're talking about Thornbird by E. Kennedy. But first, we have some things to say. Elise, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I came locked and loaded.
I'm glad because guess what? There is a storm outside right now and we don't know.
We don't know whether or not
we're going to lose power.
Because it does feel like that's possible. But I did come locked and loaded with some things to say.
Okay, please do.
And it's because this book reminded me of one of my favorite, maybe it's a character archetype, maybe it's a trope, call it what you will. But it's one I haven't thought about in a while because it's way more prevalent in like YA novels. And that is what I like to call the BBWHG, or the bad boy with a heart of gold. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
For me, this starts with Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Yes.
And particularly when he's in contrast to Dawson, who's like, you know, the blonde hair, all-American boy. And here's Pacey. He's a good guy, but a fuck up. You know, a bad boy with a heart of gold is messing up all the time, right? But he's much more misunderstood than he is morally gray. I think in adult books, we're now talking about like morally gray MMCs, that type of trope, that type of archetype. The difference between a bad boy with a heart of gold and a morally gray character is the BBWHG isn't killing anybody. All right? For the main gal. All right?
Okay.
He's not doing anything incredibly illegal. All right? He might be convincing her to ditch school to have, you know, a day she'll never forget. He's definitely coming to pick her up on his motorcycle to escape a situation.
Yeah.
He's definitely doing whatever he can to protect the woman that he loves because he's deeply loyal and deeply caring.
Yeah.
But he's not an actual bad boy. He's not a morally great character. He's just misunderstood.
Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
Like, then I think we could classify Luke Perry Dillon in 90210.
BBWHG. So I did a little bit of like a deep dive because the first people I think of when I think of BBWHGs are from teen television shows.
I mean,
so
90210.
Yeah, Pacey. 90210. I would say Dean DeLaurentis from Off Campus.
Yeah,
right?
He's a little naughty.
Yeah, he's a bad boy with a heart of gold.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And I'm sure, you know, he's doing great, but he has some daddy issues. You know, it's that type of that poor little rich kid. And he's acting out. Anthony from Bridgerton, like the rake, right?
Yep.
He would be a BBWHG. You didn't read The Mile High Club by Liz Tom Ford, but like Xander, who's like the first, I'm sorry, just Mile High is what it's called, not Mile High Club. Whoopsies. Xander, like he would be a BBWHG.
I mean, we've got Logan, Veronica Mars.
Yes, BBWHG.
We've got, I guess you could say, Angel from Buffy.
He's a little bit more morally gray because of all of the killing, but when we meet him, he's a not killing vampire. So BBWHG.
True.
You have to be careful. It's a thin line between morally gray and BBWHGs.
Vampire Diaries.
I would say morally gray. Lots of killing.
Yeah, he's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, lots of killings. That's more morally gray.
Yeah.
Fun game. What fun game we can play. Is it a BBWHG or is he morally gray?
Love it. Okay. I'm trying to think other people.
Any teen show will have it. The OC.
Oh,
Ryan Atwood. Classic BBWHG. I'm trying to think. Yeah, 90210 is a good one.
Well, I mean, Edward in Twilight.
Yeah, because again, it's a little bit more YA. I mean, I don't think he ever killed anybody.
Okay, I don't know if I'm agreeing with you on this killing people thing.
You can't, a bad boy with a heart of gold is a little bit more innocent than a morally gray love interest.
Okay.
I'm the one who's made this up, so I get to make the rules, okay? I think there are some fine lines, for sure, right? But I wouldn't call Rhysand a BBWHG. He's morally gray.
Okay.
I mean, he's got the whole, you know, will die for his love. Yeah. He's incredibly loyal. Those things are still true. It's just that the bad boy has taken it to another level. The bad boy has gone to morally gray. So while killing is not necessarily the only watermark, it is certainly a watermark. Oh, how about Rumors and Whiskey? Julian?
Oh, yeah. BBWHG.
No, morally gray.
Okay.
The reason why BBWHGs tend to be in YAs is that there's like a sweetness to it and a misunderstoodness to it that suggests that you're still growing up. You know what I mean? You haven't actually made the decision yet. You haven't decided to be morally gray for the rest of your life. You could just be a bad boy with a heart of gold and then get your shit together, live your life, be an upstanding citizen. Or you could say, this motorcycle life is for me. Because they almost always have motorcycles. This motorcycle life is for me, and I'm about to go do whatever morally gray thing that's going to make me money.
This is so like not what I think of when I think of you.
Yeah. The BBWHGs.
Yeah. You had said you were like, I'm often most attracted to the people that look like they put money in their 401k.
Yeah.
And this.
No, but I also said I have two types, BBWHG and the people who take their 401k seriously.
But it's
and
like
there's nothing in between.
Yeah, but Dawson and Pacey, Dawson definitely puts money in his 401k.
For
Pacey
sure.
does not.
Yes.
So how do you choose between the two?
In this case, I pick Pacey because he's a perfect BBWHG.
I know, he's so
but if
perfect.
Pacey became morally gray, for some reason, Pacey decided to live a life of crime.
Yeah. Interesting.
I
Is
think
it crime? Are you offended by crime?
I'm not offended by crime, but like I'm not looking for a man I'm going to need to hide bodies for.
Interesting.
It's the exact opposite of you.
Yeah.
You and Brianna, I know, who are looking for a guy who looks like maybe he can shoot a gun. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm uninterested in that.
Okay. Interesting.
You knew I was uninterested in that.
I know, but you're like, I would turn against Pacey. I would if he decided to.
Well, I would be like, unfortunately, Pacey went to jail. I don't know if I'd be able to stand by
If Pacey goes to
him.
jail, you're not going to stand by your man? You're going to be like, I'm going to Dawson. I'm going up the creek.
I mean, going up the creek. Oh, my sister.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that was a tangent. All right. So I have a lot of things to say.
Wow. Okay.
But I'm going to wait. A lot of it has to do with YA. A lot of it has to do with trope, genre, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to wait. All right. So let's get into the book. Reminder, this is our spoiler-free section. So we're going to talk about the book for about 20 minutes, all high level, and then we'll get into the spoilers and we'll sound the alarm.
Let's go.
All right. So this is Thornbird by E. Kennedy. And here's a quick synopsis. Thornbird follows Ryan Shipley, the daughter of an infamous serial killer who has spent the last 10 years living under a new name and trying to escape her family's past. After her grandmother dies, Ryan is forced to return to her hometown of Starling, Tennessee, just as the anniversary of her father's capture and his upcoming execution brings renewed attention to his crimes. When a reward is offered for information about the victims whose bodies were never found, Ryan gets pulled into a dangerous mystery that may expose her identity and reveal that someone in town is determined to keep the truth buried.
Bum, bum, bum.
So bum, bum, bum.
Yes. I mean, this book was a definition of a bum, bum, bum.
I know. Can't wait to get into it. Okay, so author. So E. Kennedy is actually L. Kennedy of off-campus fame.
Yeah.
This is her debut YA novel.
Yep. And then also debut thriller.
A debut thriller,
Yeah.
if you will. I don't know if you read the back.
I did.
You did, where she, apparently L. Kennedy, huge true crime fan.
Yeah, and she's just really wanted to do thrillers for a while and then also talk a little bit more about true crime, which I think was so interesting. I can't wait because you and I are definitely taking two different things away from this book. I can see it now.
Yeah.
But you're a true crime girly.
Yeah.
And I am not a true crime girly.
You are not, no.
I'm not anti-true crime.
Yeah.
It's just truly one of those things I never think about. It's also one of those things that I love for people who really care, like you, to sit down and tell me all about it. There's nothing I love more than learning about something
that you don't know about.
That I don't know about from somebody who's really passionate about it.
Yeah.
And that really falls into true crime and reality TV. Like I can also sit down and have somebody explain to me Love Island back to front.
Yeah.
I'm never going to sit down to watch it, but
Very
somebody
true.
who loved it and they want to tell me about it, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm here. Locked in. Let's go. Similar with true crime.
I think it's so fascinating for Elle Kennedy, who's had such success in the romance world. I'm interested that she took like a YA route instead of just doing like an adult thriller.
Yeah, I know. That is interesting.
It didn't say anything in the author bio about it. But I mean, I feel like she could do literally anything she wants at this point.
Yeah, I feel like they would have greenlit a thriller if she wanted to. One of the reasons I was excited to read this was that it was YA.
Yeah.
And it's been so long since I've read a YA book. And we've been saying, we're like, man, we should read more YA. We obviously loved the dystopian heyday of YA. Like that's a huge part of like my reading journey.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm a grown-ass lady now, so I don't necessarily reach for the YA section. But it was nice to read a YA. It wasn't as easy of a read as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't like it was written down by any means.
And I think I said that to you The genre of this is a YA thriller.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some romance in this.
Yeah.
But the content was kind of dark. Yeah. Without being so explicit or smutty, I mean, the content was still dark. So it was interesting to hear of what I would say is a fairly dark topic, but in the YA lens. And I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah. I think it also, we're getting a little bit more into the tropes now too, but there was a coming of age, growing up sort of storyline and like theme and trope to this as well. But it was not
young.
It wasn't young because lots of legitimate and earned trauma here. The daughter of the serial killer. And it was something that I could connect to a little bit more.
Yeah.
If it was just like, oh, the girl in high school, there's a love triangle, wah, wah, wah. Like, that wasn't it. She was dealing with big adult things, even though she was 17, 18 years old.
And one of the things, I don't know why, because I feel like I talk a lot of smack about romance, especially like college level romance, how I'm just not interested in college kids doing it. And now I've confused myself because this had high school kids.
Yeah.
And I had no issue with the age of the kids in this book. And I think that YA is just more relatable. And I don't know if it's because they're leaving a bunch of things out for you to come up with your own interpretation of how it would go. But I don't know. I felt like this was very relatable high school drama, family drama, minus serial killer stuff.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, huge difference between this and if this was an adult thriller book is that there was no smut, right? No explicit sex.
Yeah.
Which I do think helps. I don't reach for college age romance books.
Yeah.
Because I am uninterested in 20-year-olds sleeping together and having big emotions and big feelings. Oh, we're going to be together forever sort of feelings. But it makes sense when you're in high school that you feel that way because you're in high school. You're a child.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's probably what it is. And then you're like, fast forward 4 years and you're in college and this is happening, 3 or 4 years and college and this is happening. You're
know
like,
better.
Come on.
Yeah.
I know your frontal lobe still isn't developed, but I mean, come on, you know? But when you look back at yourself at high school, you're like, oh, she's a baby.
Yeah.
She didn't know any better. It's really only a couple of years in between, but maybe that's it.
I know. I mean, it's literally only like 1 year in between. I don't know. It's confusing. I'm confused by it.
Yeah, it was making you feel things.
Yeah,
you don't really know.
I'm still confused. But I mean, tropes, obviously the biggest one here, I'd say, is a BBWHG.
BBWHG.
We got a bad boy with a heart of gold, baby.
And we got a love triangle as well, which you can't have a BBWHG if you don't have a best friend who's a good boy, the all-American, the all-American quarterback, the straight A student, the whatever. You need somebody to play off the BBWHG, and we had that here as well. So there was a bit of a love triangle, too.
We had another amateur investigator.
Yeah, we did.
That's got to be a trope I got to look into.
I think you need more cozy mysteries in your life.
And then we've got Small Town with Secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely Small Town with Secrets, and obviously a murder mystery of some sort.
We're solving something here.
We're solving something. And also a reluctant hero. Ryan is like, please, don't.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
Just let me get out of here.
Yeah.
Let me just get out of here. I'm so close.
Yep. All right, let me set the scene. Set the scene for everybody. So Starling, Tennessee is the kind of small town where everybody knows your family, remembers what happened 10 years ago, and has already decided what they think of you. Ryan returns after years away and enters a town still haunted by her father's crimes. His execution is approaching, the victims' families are demanding answers, and renewed media and true crime interests have turned the case into public entertainment all over again. The atmosphere seems claustrophobic, suspicious, and deeply uncomfortable. Ryan is trying to act like a normal teenager while surrounded by people who would likely treat her very differently if they knew who she really was. Sad.
It is sad.
All right, let's get right into the characters.
Yes. Okay.
So we got our girl, our main character, Ryan Shipley.
Yep. / Gabrielle Thorne.
Yep. And she is returning back home to live with her aunt's family and her 2 cousins after her grandmother died. So her family was estranged, or I guess her aunt and her mom were estranged. And when everything happened with her father, her and her grandma moved out of town and her aunt and family stayed.
Which, I mean, what a choice.
I think about it. I have got a lot to say about that.
Yeah. And then Ryan, just for avoidance of any doubt, So her original name, her real name is Gabrielle Thorne. She is the daughter of Gabriel Thorne,
Yes.
who is the serial killer from this town, who, what is it, like 10 years ago?
It was 10 years ago.
Okay, yeah. Confessed to his crimes and is about to be executed. This town, never really recovered, first of all.
Nope.
And honestly, neither did Ryan. She was pretty much taken away immediately after he was arrested. Changed her name to Ryan. And that's sort of how she lived. And unfortunately now has to come back to Starling.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Shipley family.
Yeah.
So she moves in with the Shipley family, and the ruse is that she is a cousin, which, she really is, but she's from the dad's side of the Shipley family. And she has two cousins that are twins who are about a year younger than her, Jazz and Connor. And they really welcome her with open arms.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
Yeah. The cousins are high school kids, have their quirks. Jazz is like a cheerleader and doesn't like to be told no, basically, and wants everybody to be very cool. And Ryan is, as you could imagine, a little bit of a surly introvert, just likes to take pictures type of gal. And she's like, no, wear pink and come to the party.
Yeah.
But like, not in necessarily any sort of like in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just who she is. And then Connor is on the football team, but also gay.
Love that.
And out. There was like not a huge drama.
No. But the drama really was everybody, while the cousins were growing up, had just terrible things to say about them because they were related to the serial killer, Gabriel Thorne. And so when Ryan moves there, her aunt and uncle are like, we're just going to say that you're from the dad's side of the family. No one can know who you are. So her cousins don't actually know who she is. So she's kind of living a lie the moment she gets there and doesn't really have anyone else to talk to. So that obviously plays into a lot of things.
Can we just talk about the name Gabriel Thorne and how it's like a perfect serial killer name?
You know what I'm surprised about? I feel like serial killers are always like first name, middle name, last name. And they didn't have that here. So I thought that was interesting.
See, I don't know enough about serial killers to know that. They're usually very specific.
Yeah. So Everett, who is one of the first people that Ryan meets when she gets to town, he is the star quarterback.
He's the foil to our BBWHG.
Yeah, he is the star quarterback. He's a super nice guy. He has got a sister, Nikki, who is best friends with Ryan's cousin Jazz, and Nikki is just a fucking mess.
Yeah, she's a mess. Yeah,
she's a fucking mess.
And
but their family, very cute, has their dad JP. Mom died when they were younger, and JP's just really trying to keep it together. But Nikki is she's off the tracks.
Yeah, she's not doing well. Yeah, and he's very much he's the golden boy.
He's the golden boy,
quarterback
of the town.
He's a hunk. So
he already has like an acceptance from the University of Alabama.
Yeah, to roll tide, playing football.
Yeah.
And likes Ryan immediately. Like as soon as he sees her, like starts pursuing her. And she's just sort of like, why is this hunky quarterback interested in me? I'm wearing combat boots and I only like to take pictures of nature.
Yeah. And then we've got Chase. Chase,
our BBWHG.
Is our BBWHG, who, of course, is surly on the outside, but just a soft cookie center on the inside and has so much more to him than what people see.
Yeah.
But he is, funnily enough, best friends with Everett, and he is not a joiner. So he's not on the football team. He rides a motorcycle.
Yeah, obviously.
He's in school, out of school.
Yeah. Well, a really good way you're dealing with a BBWHG is that Ryan has chemistry with him.
Yeah.
And he's only shows up like 2 times a week for chemistry.
Yeah.
She's just like, look at this guy. Just
skipping
school, slacking. What a loser.
Mm-mm.
But turns out he is just apprenticing as a mechanic after
he's got
work.
And
he's got a work study, and he has permission not to go as long as he goes to his tutor because he needs the job. Why? To help his mom, who's struggling to keep the family afloat since his dad died.
Yep. Also, a lot of dead parents.
A lot of dead parents. Yep. And yes, Starling's got a lot of dead parents.
Yep.
Some of them because of the serial killer. Some of them not. Some of them not.
Yeah. And then the last person I have is Zed.
Okay.
So I picked Zed. Zed is another high schooler. He's the same age as Ryan and Everett. And he has a true crime podcast. Honestly, it seems like quite a successful business.
Yes, it feels like he's doing quite well. And a message board that is dedicated specifically to the Gabriel Thorne case and trying to find the bodies. That's this big That's the
Yes.
big sort of through line of this story is that Gabriel Thorne confessed,
Right.
but never said where he had the bodies. And so there's 6 victims, 7 if you count Ryan's mom, who he also killed, and the bodies were never found. So the families are always trying to petition to find them, and Zed and his sparrows are also trying to find them as well.
Yep.
And seems like a success.
And so during this time, because her dad's going to be executed soon, they're desperate to find out where these bodies are so all the families can get closure. And they up the reward to $1 million for whoever actually finds the bodies. And so it gives Zed he's like, this is my
time.
This is my time.
I would have found it. I would have done it just for the prestige.
Yeah.
But now it's like $1 million. So I am interested even more now.
Yep. All right. What did you think it's giving?
I said it was giving Dawson's Creek.
Oh.
If Dawson was obsessed with My Favorite Murder and not Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I felt like it was giving.
Wow. Okay. I did one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Okay. You know what? I never read that. I should read it.
They have a Netflix series now, which is excellent. And another YA book/show that is darker than I would think it would be.
Okay.
And I don't know if I remember telling you, but I just watched or just finished the 2nd season of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And I was like, damn, that was dark.
Yeah.
Like, that was tough. Also, like, what is going on in these towns?
And why are the children the only ones who can solve it?
I know. But then what I really thought it was giving is there is a documentary on Netflix called My Father, the BTK Killer. And it is Carrie Rawson, who is the daughter of Dennis Rader. And it's all from her point of view and what it was like, growing up and finding out that was what her dad was doing. It was so relatable to this story in terms of inherited guilt, notoriety that you get when your parent has done something and everyone looks at you differently.
Oh.
And it's very sad.
Wow, that's very interesting.
It's really good. So people should watch it. All right.
One-line plots?
One-line plots.
I could go first? Okay.
Please.
A serial killer's daughter would really like to just take some pictures and get the hell out of town. But first, she has to survive a very poorly executed DIY witness protection plan, a high school love triangle, true crime weirdos, and finding a bunch of dead bodies.
That's great.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank
Mine
you.
is kind of similar.
It's kind of similar.
Okay. A serial killer's daughter returns to a town full of buried bodies where her hidden identity, messy love triangle, and alarming amount of bird knowledge collide.
She does have an alarming amount of bird knowledge.
And an alarming amount of bird knowledge collide with a true crime frenzy that treats her family trauma like entertainment.
Yeah.
There's so much bird knowledge.
So much bird stuff in this.
So much bird stuff. Like, it totally makes sense why it is called Thornbird.
Yeah.
Big bird family, the Thorns were.
Yeah,
and
big birds.
Ryan and her dad, like, one of their special interests was building birdhouses, and her dad would talk to her all about birds. He would call her his little sparrow. So big bird stuff.
Bird stuff.
We all know how I feel about birds.
Katie hates birds.
I don't like birds.
Loves animals unless it's a bird, in which case she's like,
I'm not interested.
no, get it off my desk, get it off my lawn, get it away from me.
Yeah.
Does not like birds.
Not interested.
No.
Okay, high level. Did you like this book, Elise?
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. It was a fast read because I was very into it, and I was very much trying to figure out what was going on the entire time, which I like. I like that in a book. Like, I like taking notes, being like, I figured it out. And I don't think I've read a book like this since We Are All Guilty Here.
Yeah.
And I think these are the type of thrillers I like. A psychological thriller, sure.
Yeah.
It's fun, but I like these more mystery thrillery. I don't know what the subgenre of thriller this would be.
I mean, I would say this is a thriller.
It's definitely a thriller, but more of like a crime. There's a crime involved. No, I guess,
there's not. I mean, there's no crime that's happening. But I think the mystery part is them trying to find the bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely loved this book.
Yes. You were like, why haven't you finished reading it yet? I'm just like, please, Katie.
I know. I finished it so quickly. And you're the one that recommended it.
I did, because I saw it, I think, L. Kennedy under E. Kennedy. posted about it, and I think somebody reposted on Instagram or something, and I was like, oh, we're looking for a book to read next.
Yeah.
Daughter of a serial killer, thriller, YA.
Yeah.
These are all things that I feel like we could do for the podcast because you didn't know what to pick. And I was like, this feels like it's up your alley.
I absolutely loved it. I think it has reinvigorated my love of YA. And now I want to find more books like this. There is just something about it that I absolutely love. I absolutely loved it. I think more people need to be talking about this book. I haven't seen a ton of stuff, even though it is on the New York Times bestsellers list. Well, let's get into the spoilers because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And like big spoilers, guys. I mean, it's a thriller. We gotta pretty much spoil it almost right away.
That's exactly right. So when did you decide if you did or didn't like this book?
The joke answer is as soon as I found out that Chase had a motorcycle, but I think the real answer was pretty much right away. Yeah. I think Ryan really brought me in. This is like a first-person POV, so you're getting Ryan's point of view the whole time. Ryan made this entire story believable. Like she was both a normal high school girl and the daughter of a serial killer. She, like, the character made it work. If she wasn't
100%.
as grounded as it was, this could have gone off the rails pretty fast. But she was. Like, she really grounded the story.
One of the things that I feel like could have really bogged down the story was if Ryan would have gone back to this town and the whole moving in with her aunt, uncle, and cousins. Like if the cousins, didn't accept her or that was a whole battle. But they kind of immediately accepted her. She was brought into the family and then we got to continue to move forward. So I felt like that really helped kick it off.
Yeah. And the aunt and the uncle were cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were good characters.
Sure. They thought they were doing the right thing by asking her to hide her identity because they've had such a hard time in this town. But they did it for the right reasons. They weren't doing it for any sort of other nefarious reasons. And the aunt really protected her. Like there were several times that, like the FBI came a knocking and she really advocated for Ryan during those times. And the dad was really a good person to talk to, like was really there to like try to help Ryan out. That was great to see.
They had the four of them before Ryan came, it seemed like they had a very cute family dynamic. So I thought that was really great. All right, I think we got to talk about plot twists.
Yeah. In a thriller, it has to be the first thing we talk about.
I know.
And there was a bunch.
There was a lot. I wonder where did you start?
So I will say the first plot twist was that Everett's mom was one of Ryan's dad's victims. So when Ryan was dating him, she knew that his mom had died, but no one said it was because she was a victim
of Gabriel
Thorne. Yeah. And obviously when she found out, she was just like, you guys should have told me. Like, I can't date the son of somebody my dad killed. Like, I can't do it. So that's insane that you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Which, again, actually shows, I feel like, a lot of maturity. That's one of the reasons why I liked Ryan.
I think she was extremely mature. She grapples with the fact that she had a wonderful childhood, a dad that she adored, and she has a really hard time separating this was the guy that took care of me, that made me feel safe, that we had these special things that we would do together with the person that killed a bunch of women and is now awaiting death row.
Yeah. And I think in other versions of this book, she would have been so madly in love with Everett that she would have tried to make it work and it would have been the third act breakup. The third act would have been like this reveal, but that was not what happened because she was like, come on, guys. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, like
I can't do that.
I get that.
And I'm not going to tell him that my dad killed his mom, so I gotta go. We can't be in a relationship. I'm like, yeah, exactly right, Ryan. Way to really make a grown-up decision there.
Yep. The second one I did was Zed, our true crime podcaster, reveals Ryan's real identity
at a dance.
At the school dance, such a Carrie moment. Yeah. Like, how fucking rude.
Yeah.
That little twerp.
Yeah, and in true, like, very dramatic fashion interrupts the year in review video. Yeah. And he was so proud of himself.
Fucking loser.
Yeah.
Okay. The next was that Chase, the twins, Everett, and Ryan do in fact find the bodies.
So this was the twist I thought I saw coming. There was a lot of clues throughout the book that Ryan knew where the bodies were. Not consciously, but, just by knowing her dad and by her dad's letters and through some of the clues in there. And because her dad was so obsessed with birds. And they made all of those birdhouses.
Yep.
And they had a map of the birdhouses. Every time they hung up a new birdhouse, they would mark it on their map, and they would some of, their weekend jaunts in the woods just to check on the birdhouses to make sure that they had feeders and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I bet you he chopped up those women into teeny tiny pieces and put them in the birdhouses.
Yeah.
That was a little bit more complicated than what it actually was, but the birdhouses were the key. Were the key. 3 of the birdhouses in particular sort of triangulated where a very creepy bunker basically was found.
Yeah, that was extremely creepy. Very dark. Loved it. So one of the things that I was thinking about, because this is YA, I was like, oh, damn. What if the reveal is that her dad didn't kill anybody?
I thought that a couple of times too.
But I'm glad that wasn't it.
Yeah.
I felt like it would invalidate some of what we learned about her and some of the trauma that she had. And I'm unfortunately glad that wasn't the twist, but that also means her dad was truly just fucked up.
Just a serial killer, man.
And he loved her so much and would write her letters, and she never had any interaction with him since the day that he killed her mom, which of course we now know her mom found pictures, portraits that he had drawn of the missing women. And obviously it was a hot topic of the town that these women were missing, and tried to leave with Ryan.
Yeah.
And so she was trying to get them out of the house. She took his gun. Kerfuffle, scuffle happens. Her mom ends up getting shot. And Ryan is there the entire time.
Yeah.
And
hiding underneath the bed, just
hiding underneath the bed. That was so sad.
I know. Watching her father kill her mother.
Yeah.
And also blames herself because she's like, I was taking so long to get my stuff together. I didn't understand. And I wanted to pack all this and that. And we didn't get out in time. The FBI made her go into hypnotherapy.
Also, these are the worst FBI agents in the history of the world. When you were saying your DIY witness protection, and I bet if you asked any serial killer family that the police do absolutely nothing to help them.
Yeah.
Those people are victims too.
Yeah.
They did not know that their family member was out there chopping people up. You have to think about what's going to happen to those people, especially young kids who, grow up and are I'm so confused about what happened when I was a kid and this is what my parent did. They just kept thinking that she knew more than she let on. Yeah. And that is such a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah. And she did, but she also didn't. Luckily, that therapist who did the hypnosis on her did seem like a pretty good practitioner of this. I feel like this could be a bit of a charlatan sort of thing, but was a very upstanding practitioner of hypnosis. And it's not like she uncovered a memory of where the bodies are buried. She didn't know, but she did remember him drawing a picture of Everett's mom and being in her dad's studio, and then she uncovered a memory of being with her mom when her mom found the pictures, sort of waking up and being like, oh my God, I understand his weird bird clues. It was all of a sudden these memories knocked loose something that all of a sudden all of these weird bird things that her dad would write to her made sense. And that's why she pulled out the map.
In his last letter before he killed himself, because he actually killed himself before his execution date, was watch over the sparrows.
And then gave 3 names of birds, and those were the birdhouses.
Yep.
That she finally figured out, and they triangulated.
And that is fucked up.
Yeah. Fucked up.
Did he think that she would just
be absolutely, I'm not going to show your bunker of death to people. I'm not going to report your bunker of death.
But how traumatizing is that?
Yeah.
Extremely traumatizing. I thought that was written very well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so after they find the bodies, we find out that Everett's mom was not down there in the bunker of bodies.
And because that bunker of bodies also was filled with pictures, this man was just drawing pictures of his little birds, and then had 5 cages where basically just skeletons were, and it said Sparrow, name of the first name of the woman.
So he basically
caged
killed
them
these
until
women
they died.
Because they were too beautiful, some of his journals said.
Yeah, too beautiful for this world. So he killed them and threw them in a cage.
Tossed him in his own,
Again, dark for a while. I mean,
that's what I mean.
This is serial killer stuff. It's dark.
Handmade bird cages that he created, human-sized bird cages that he created. Ooh, fucked up. And so Everett's mom was not in there.
Not down there.
And so we then find out that Everett's mom was not killed by Gabriel Thorne, as everyone was to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, Everett kills his mom by accident because she was going to leave them, essentially. She's just like, this life ain't for me. I'm going to move to Nashville.
Yeah, I'm not here for this wife and mom stuff.
Yeah, I'm not cut out to be a mom and a wife. And so she starts leaving. Everett runs after her. He pushes her, boom, into down a well.
So I wrote very, very early on while I was reading, one of my notes was Chekhov's well. So you know how there's a literary theory called Chekhov's gun. And
yes,
it just means that don't put anything in a story that's not going to be important to the story. Right. So you're not going to. Right.
Yeah, and thrillers are often red herring. So
when Everett at one point brings her to the well, like when they're dating, just to sort of, talk about his mom and how he misses her and all of that. And I just wrote Chekhov's well. Chekhov's well. A well is never just a well, not in a thriller.
Never just a well.
And I didn't know exactly how it was going to play out, but I knew that well was going to be important. And to protect Everett, his dad covered it up, basically, like called the cops, called her missing, and then put cement down there to seal up the bottom of the well and to hide the body.
And maybe like a day or two later, it comes out that Gabriel is the serial killer.
And they're like, so he must have also killed.
Yeah. And because it sounds like their mom had commissioned a portrait of herself, which now is leading to believe that she was going to give this to her kids because she left, they found her picture among the other victims' pictures. So they just assumed that she was a victim. And Everett's dad was just like, yeah, I wasn't going to
correct him.
I wasn't going to correct him in that case. So the one thing, before we get to the last one, is that Ryan, shortly after she comes to town, starts getting text messages being like, I know who you are, stop looking for the bodies, etc. That turns out to be Everett because he doesn't want her to find the bodies or investigate, because he doesn't want anyone to figure out that his mom was not among those bodies, because he did, in fact, accidentally kill her. Okay. And so the last twist
on like the final page, basically,
was that JP, Everett's dad,
because they climbed down the well. Ryan is climbing down the well with Everett, who just admitted to killing his mom by accident. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but she says, "Great idea to follow this boy down into a well." First of all, you should never go down in a well.
I would.
There's never a point of anything in which you say going down in this well is a good idea. But follows him down. He basically confesses, and she's like, don't worry about it, man.
Don't worry
it's not
about
your
it.
fault.
I'll keep your secret.
Yeah, no problem.
So as she's climbing back up, we don't know this at the time, but as she's about to leave town after graduation, she goes into JP's work and brings him a bag of fingernails, red fingernails.
Yeah.
She basically says, did you know that your wife wasn't dead when she fell down in the well?
I found these fingernails 30 feet up. She was obviously trying to climb out.
Yeah.
And Everett doesn't know that. So do you know that?
And he was just like, yeah, man. It turns out that
Everett didn't kill his mom.
Everett did accidentally somehow push his mom down the well. And when JP goes over and he's like, ooh, yeah, she looks dead down there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, we will figure this out. And so he just covers up the well.
Yeah, like puts the top on the well.
So then he comes back like 2 days later after Gabriel Thorne is caught and is like, you know what, I better just pour cement down here so no one thinks anything of it. And he opens up the well and his wife is still alive.
And screaming at him and just being like, you get me out of here. I'm taking the kids. I'm telling the cops. I'm doing this, that. I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. And he just said, I can't deal with this. I'm going to bury her alive in concrete.
And you know what? I can't blame him for this. I really, really can't blame him for this. And I don't know if that says something about me, but I was like, damn, I really liked him. I really liked him as a character. And I think what I take from this is in the moment. He's already holding the cement, right? He already planned to pour the cement down the well to just cover up the body. I think it's a tough decision to make.
I think it is a tough decision to make. I think it was the wrong one. I don't think you, unfortunately, I do think you get the woman out of the well. But she wanted to leave anyway. She didn't want to be a mom. She would have gotten over it.
Okay, let's talk about some scene stealers.
Okay.
You know what I realized? That we have not even talked about Chase.
I
Our
know,
BBWHG.
which is so because we were so stuck in it. I think let's take the time now because there is that love triangle. And obviously she starts dating Everett, stops when she's like, what do you mean? My dad killed his mom. Come on, guys. Someone should have told me. And pretty quickly after that, bonded with Chase.
So my scene stealer is they're all at this party. People are watching the news because there's a interruption to this broadcast.
Well, and this town is like chomping at the bit for Gabriel Thorne to be executed.
Like people are talking about having execution parties. It's
like
all
so they're
weird.
really keeping an eye on the news for Gabriel Thorne and also thinking that maybe there'll be some sort of deathbed confession that he'll say where the bodies are.
This party's at Everett's grandma's house or something like that. And everyone in the school is there. And when this comes on the TV, Nikki, Everett's little sister, just like screams. And Ryan is there just like hanging out with everybody. And she kind of looks to the TV and sees what happens. And it's when her dad had killed himself in jail before his execution date. And that was just announced on TV. And Nikki loses it. She loses her mind. And she's like, what's going on? And then she realizes that her dad had killed their mom. And Nikki was like, we're never going to get justice for her. And she freaks out, as you would.
As you would.
And goes to leave the party, starts walking home. And Chase is like, you can't walk home alone.
You need a ride.
You need a ride on my motorcycle.
Get on the back. He might have been at that party hooking up with girls, but he wasn't drinking. He had to drive his motorcycle home, you know? So she does end up getting on the back of that motorcycle. And that was the moment she's like, well, I gotta break up with Everett. You know, Chase was always around being a bad boy with a heart of gold. She noticed him.
Being moody.
Yeah, but it took a
good amount of
time until they got together. And when they did get together, they got together in a
blaze of glory.
Big way.
I loved it. I loved their relationship. I loved how it came up. I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Elise, what is your scene stealer?
So the way that we found out that Everett was the one who was texting Ryan this entire time, being like, I know who you are, stop looking, is that Ryan finds her necklace. So she loses a very important necklace to her. It's a locket with a diamond in it, and that diamond is a cremation diamond, and it's from her mom's remains. And she loses it early on in the book and is devastated about it. And she goes to Everett's house to talk to him about sort of a break in the case and sees that he has the locket in a keepsake box in his room. And her finding the necklace, which I think was big. It was important to her, you know?
I felt like I forgot about it, and I'm so glad that we wrapped that up.
Yeah, and that was the sort of entryway to getting the second to final twist, right? That it was Everett who killed his mom or pushed her down the well. Was so good because I was very concerned about it. And then I was like, so many things are happening. And then I forgot about it. And then it came up again. And I was like, wow, I'm so glad that she found it again. And Everett didn't take it. But Nikki, the sister, who is
trash,
but dealing with a fair amount of issues. But yes, is dealing with her trauma by drug and alcohol abuse, sleeping with older men, and stealing everything.
Yep.
So she's really got the trifecta of coping mechanisms happening. Did steal the necklace from their room. So Ryan and Jasmine share a room. So was over to hang out with Jasmine and stole the necklace from the room. And then Everett found it, didn't give it back.
No.
But that was how he figured out that Ryan was Gabrielle.
It was a locket and it had her initials on it, GT. And he figured it out. And he figured it out early.
Like, and was still like dating her. And then when I said I sort of guessed that Everett had something to do with it or Everett knew or something like that. I thought it would be more nefarious. I thought he was like, oh, maybe he was dating her because he knows he's Gabriel Thorne and like wants to find his mother's body. Like being nice under false pretenses. But that was not the case.
I mean, he kind of was. I think it started out that way, but I think he did also like her because she's cute.
He wasn't he
wasn't a creep, but
he wasn't a mastermind by any means. He was just a boy.
He's just a boy. He's not a mastermind.
He was not a mastermind. He was just a boy and it sort of got out of control.
Chase would be a mastermind, though.
Yeah. Obviously, there was a few themes going through this. One of them, obviously, being a coming-of-age story. There was a lot of like talk about memory and like the fallibility of memory, hence the whole hypnosis stuff. But I think the most interesting thing, and what I want to hear your opinion on, is like the true crime community aspect of this. So like Zed and this invasive obsessiveness, not only about serial killers, but like crime in general, and these amateurs trying to figure it out and basically just harassing the victims of the murder, the families of the murderer, people who are missing. Like, and that is what was happening here. And I do think with the acknowledgement, that was something that L. Kennedy wanted to talk about.
Well, I think it's very important, and I do think it is a big issue in the true crime world, which they talk about doxing and, you know, all these online sleuths trying to get to the bottom of it. But in that investigation, they are ruining innocent people's lives. And I think we've heard it so many times is that it doesn't matter if you're innocent until proven guilty in the court of public opinion, you're immediately guilty or you're guilty by association. And that was Ryan and the Shipley family.
Yeah.
They were literally estranged from their uncle that committed these murders, and they were bullied and thought down upon their entire lives because they happened to be related to this person. And I think that that is a very big problem that still happens today. And there are people that can investigate or report on true crime in a very respectful and smart way. And then there are the people like Zed, who at the end is like, yeah, I might have taken that a little too far. Ryan, 100% is a victim in the terrible things that her dad had done. And he had no right to divulge her identity that she was very clearly trying to hide.
Yeah.
I really feel for those people, like Dennis Rader's daughter. Like, their house was leveled. They just took the whole house down. It's like looky-loos, the same way with the Idaho 4 house.
Mm-hmm.
They just got rid of it.
They just leveled it? I didn't know that.
They just leveled it.
Yeah.
There's nothing there anymore.
Because it becomes almost like,
it's like a
tourism.
like obsession, a fascination. And it is. People will just stand outside and be like, oh my God, like this is it. Or break into the house or something like that.
Ryan's old house was still
there.
standing. And so there was constantly people breaking in thinking there was going to be a clue. Like once the reward was up, they were like, well, obviously the police have missed it. And listen, they did. They did miss it.
And I believe in, you know, some of these online sleuths and that people have theories that the police have not necessarily explored, or they might know things that the police might not necessarily know. But I do think that there's a respect and process to figuring those things out.
Yeah. I will say at the very end, when Zed comes basically to be like, Ryan, you owe the world an interview with me about everything. And she just went in on him.
I know, I thought it was great.
And I thought it was so good. Only after being absolutely
reamed out
by Ryan is like, yeah, maybe I went a little bit too far. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And like, she doesn't owe anybody anything. All right, Elise, do you want to give your final rating?
So I put a 4.5, but I think as we're talking about it, I think it's a 5. I think it's a 5.
I think if you're going to rate something 4.5, it is 5.
It's a 5.
Fucking
it's a 5.
stars.
And as I was looking at my notes, because I put a 4.5, and I was just like, that's insane. It's a 5. It's a 5. This was a 5-star read for me.
This was a 5-star read for me, obviously.
Yeah.
I was desperate to talk about this book.
I mean, we've covered it. It was YA, but it didn't feel juvenile.
No.
It was dark, but it wasn't too dark.
Too dark.
It had a great love triangle and Bad Boy with a Heart of Gold. Like, it had an excellent one.
Wait, so let me ask you, because I did not read Off Campus.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I read the deal. I read the first one.
I mean, I think, okay, L. Kennedy, go off in YA.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, so sorry, L. Kennedy. I didn't love the deal. They were smutty little romance novels, which I love. It's my favorite. I mean, it's one of my favorite genres, smutty little romance novels. And I don't judge a smutty little romance novel on deep literary prose. But this one was. I will say that's what I mean. Like, I'm not.
That's what I mean. I'm like, this book was felt good. Deep.
Yeah, this felt like a entirely different writing style.
Yes. Okay. That's what I kind of figured.
And again, the deal was the first in the Briar U universe. Yeah. She definitely has, at the very least, 10 books published. The chances that she's gotten better is exponential. Like, I do think I might have been reading her first book, and this is her most recent book. So you have to take that into consideration.
I mean, I thought this was excellent. Excellently written, excellently portraying,
plotted, excellently plotted. Again, the characterizations of the people.
Perfect book.
5 stars.
5 stars. Perfect book.
The only reason I think originally I said 4.5 stars is that, but it was unfair. I was going to say it was YA. and I'm an adult. But I'm just like, but that's unfair
That's
because
an unfair
what am I just going to knock it for the genre?
Yeah, you can't do that.
I
That's
can't
like,
knock it for the genre.
That's like illegal.
It's illegal, and if it's not actually illegal, it's genre illegal. It's illegal on genre.
That you cannot knock something just because it's a genre.
You're right, Katie. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. I came around. I said no. Yeah. All right.
All right, what are we reading next?
Okay, well, we've been fighting about
I know. I was actually going to say, I don't know if we've talked about this.
Well, it's my pick, and I can tell you what I want to pick, but you've been yelling at me, and I think we should do it.
Yeah.
If only because her aunt came today and borrowed the first book.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to be reading next, my pick, and now it's official, my sister can't say no, is In the Wake of the Ruined by Kaylee Cassidy, which is the second book in the Siren Mage series. It is a duology.
This is final book.
It's the final book. It's the second and final. We read the first one last year. It was one of the first ones we read for the pod. I want to say it was like...
Yeah, it was like one of the first ones.
Yeah. Book 5, maybe.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look. And I want to finish it up. I am interested in it. I do need to give myself a bit of a reminder on the first...
Same, yeah.
But... I want to see how it closes. We talk so much about duologies, and then what, Katie? We're not going to read the duology?
Okay, fine. I was giving her shit because I'm really sick of romantasy right now.
Yeah. This one was piratey, though. Remember? There was sirens. There was pirates.
It was a little different.
I mean, it's romantasy for sure.
And it's a duology, so it's like no quest, war? Or are we going to put the
quest and the war together?
Look.
I feel like it really puts a lot of theories that we've been yapping about to test.
That's true. Yeah. Fine. We'll read it.
I'm excited about it.
All right. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, no genre shaming unless it's funny. Bye.